Salute YouTube world. Before I get started, I want to thank everybody who liked my video last night, who commented anything positive, and especially everybody who subscribed. I appreciate you. Without that, I wouldn't be able to build any kind of channel. I definitely need your help and support. And thank you again. All right, so here we go. I want to talk about the realest thing I've heard Jimmy Calandra say since he started making all his videos and telling us his stories. I want to go back a little bit first and talk about all the guys that are on YouTube now, the ex-mobsters, the rats, whatever you want to call them, and how they all got an excuse. They all have an excuse for why they flipped. I heard Mikey Scars say it's because they cut off his money. Nobody was collecting his debts for him. They cut him off. Everybody abandoned them. All right. Okay. John Alite, this clown. I just got done listening to him talk about why should I stay loyal to an organization that isn't loyal to me, and they're Italian and I'm Albanian and they're not even living by their own rules. Why should I live by them? Yeah, okay. Even Sammy. I got no problem with Sammy. I don't really have anything bad to say about him. But he's got the biggest bullshit excuse of all. He actually expects us to believe that John Gotti, of all people, the most honorable man probably in the history of Cosa Nostra, regardless of what you think about him, you got to give him that. This was a stand-up guy, as stand-up as you could get. And Sammy expects us to believe that John Gotti told him he's going to take the fall. He needs to take the fall so John Gotti could get off. You didn't want to go to jail, Sammy, Mikey, John Alite. None of you wanted to go to jail. That's why people tell. That's why people rat. That's why they do what they do. Because all of a sudden they're facing 30, 40, 50 years, life without parole. And it hits them. And they say, fuck this. I don't want to do this. Why go to the pen when you could send a friend? That's what I heard John Veazey say once. That's what these guys, that's what they do. That's what's going through their head. It's the get out of jail free card that they know they have. And they probably knew they had it the whole time they were on the street. That they got somebody above them. Somebody bigger than them that they could turn on. And use as a way out. None of them are honest. None of them tell the truth. They've always got a reason, an excuse, some way of justifying what they did. Because it's hard for them to live with, because, nobody wants to be seen as that. Anybody who's been in the street, that's the last thing you ever wanted to be known for. But one thing I got to give Jimmy credit for. A few videos back, he was telling his story. And when it came to him finally getting arrested and pretty much everything was over and everybody was off the street, he knew it was the end, he made a decision. He said, look, I'm a young man. I got my whole life ahead of me. I don't want to throw my life away. I just don't want to throw my life away. And he's the first person who I've heard just come out and say that and be honest and say, look, this is not, and Jimmy had reasons too. People were turning on him. They were flipping on him. He had reasons. He could use that as an excuse all day, just like everybody else does. But he came out and he was honest and he said, look, I was a young man. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to lose everything. I didn't want to lose my whole future. I didn't want to throw my life away. I was looking at 50 years. So it's up to you how you look at it, right or wrong. Most people won't agree with it. Doesn't matter. That's not the point I'm trying to make, whether it's right or wrong. The only point I'm trying to make is that he was honest about why he did it. And you don't get that anywhere else. And this is why Jimmy is advancing and progressing on YouTube, and why people are feeling his videos and supporting him, and because he's doing something different. He's telling the truth. So anyway, that's it for that. Other than that, I want to get on to, breaking down a couple more of John Alite's lies. This Gene Gotti thing. A lot of people have been talking about this lately. He mentioned that that Jimmy Calandra slapped around Gene Gotti and FCI McKean, and Jimmy came out and said, that's not true. We had some words. I pushed them, whatever. And Johnny kept going on. He couldn't backtrack. Obviously, he doesn't want to say he lied, so he just keeps doubling down on the lie. And the last time I think he talked about this a week or two ago, I don't think there was anybody who didn't slap Gene Gotti around, according to Johnny Light. He had the Latin Kings after him because they were under him too. He was running shit with them too. Okay. He had who else? Patty Delarusso slapped him around. Joe Gambino slapped him around. Johnny Light himself slapped him around. It's like, and then he gives himself the credit. This was all because of him. He was telling everybody to do this. He had everybody roughing up Gene Gotti and slapping him around. The made guy, the boss's brother, some Albanian kid. Just has everybody. He's got made guys pushing around other made guys. Okay. All right. The story is so ridiculous for so many reasons. But again, anybody who knows about that life, anything about it, you don't have to have firsthand experience. It's all out there. You can read about how it worked, how it works. I don't know so much anymore, but back then, let me tell you, you don't put your hands on a made guy. Nobody. Okay, but then to take it even further, and you're telling me that this kid, this Albanian guy, he goes into this prison where, according to him, he immediately takes over. He takes over everything. He's running all the gangs. Junior Black Mafia, Latin Kings, Cosa Nostra. I think he might have left out Aryan Brotherhood, but he probably just forgot. So now he's got all these guys. He's the reason for a made man, the boss's brother, a Gotti, getting slapped around and abused and assaulted in prison. Listen, man, they'd still be looking for pieces of Johnny Light if that was the case. It's just more nonsense. It's you could go into his lies. You could pick one pick a new one every day and break it down piece by piece. But it's simple to figure out. I mean, these are things that there doesn't have to be any debate about. At the time he was talking about, there's no getting away with that. I don't care who. You say Joe Gambino helped you. By the way, you got no pictures with any of these guys. Jimmy Calandra, he's got pictures with everybody in these prisons. And FCI McKean and Lewisburg. He's got pictures with Joe Gambino and George Conti and Matty Madonna. I don't see any proof of you ever being around any of these guys. And I don't see anybody coming out and corroborating your story. But hey, I guess we're just supposed to take your word for it. So anyway, the point of all this is, just one more example of how ridiculous his stories are. And why he shouldn't be taken seriously at all. No less have the following he does. And this many people buying into his bullshit. But it is what it is. I guess those people are always going to be out there. So anyway, that's it for tonight. I don't want to make a real long, boring video. I think I did that last night. But I appreciate everything from you guys. Like I said, I appreciate the likes, the subscribers. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Salute.